Nirmala Sitaraman, currently speaking in the Lok Sabha on the budget presented a few days ago.
What the monsoon vagaries bring to India almost every year since recorded history. We had other external vagaries also affecting us, particularly in the food area. Several preemptive measures were taken up by the government, and also the monetary policy decisions by the RBI had led to a sequence of measures being taken, and therefore by November, December of 2022, we were able to return to the realm of the tolerance band which the RBI defines. And therefore the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, came down to the below 6% level and therefore was within the tolerance band. Despite all this, sir, the Indian economy is still the fastest growing major economy and shall continue to be so even in 23-24. So since the pandemic, when the economy dipped by -23, our efforts to recover the economy has been through the capex route, capital expenditure route from the government side. And this, because it has great multiplier effect, enables to have in situ jobs created where the projects of the public expenditure are being spent and the projects are being made to rise. So that immediately in situ creates a lot of jobs and therefore triggers better income and therefore triggers better consumption. This is a well-established route in terms of multiplier for capital expenditure, as different from the route which is asserted by economists when you give money in the hands of the people, where the multiplier is far lesser than a rupee spent, is far lesser than that rupee spent. The next very important line is also enhancing the productive capacities in the economy so that we can spur and sustain domestic demand. Third is also an approach which is comprehensive, looking at social security. I already explained the inflation management. So these four major routes and activities have actually kept the economy in a sustained growth path. So in a way, if I have to put in a few words what this budget of 2023-24 is, it actually, in a way, if I can say, astutely balances the requirement for India's development imperatives within the limits of fiscal prudence. So that is a very difficult balance. I'm sure most of us who are speaking on the Indian economy and the budget would observe that it is a very, very tight, measure. It's a very delicately balanced act, and that's what has been achieved in 2023-24 budget, without compromising on India's growth potential and sustaining the growth momentum. We also have made sure that fiscal prudence is maintained as per the glide path we had given 2 years ago. We were in a stretched fiscal situation, sir, post the pandemic. However, the growth in 23-24, the period for which this budget is presented here, will be with good policies such as the PM Gati Shakti, National Logistics Policy, and also the PLI scheme, and with cooperative federalism in mind, empowering states is of great concern for us. And as I go about speaking on specific points on which members of parliament have spoken, I'll also highlight what measures, even as of today, I have taken in order to maintain the state's fiscal health and also ensure that money is in their hands at the time when they need it. Sir, actually from the budget itself, I wanted to place on record again through this response my reply. But even as I heard very many members speak about it, there was this repeated question about, are we giving enough for the states? Total resources are being transferred to states. I'd like to highlight and begin with that. Total resources being transferred to the states, that is the central share in taxes, releases under the centrally sponsored schemes, both put together, under the BE 23-24, which is the proposed budget which is on the table of this House for consideration, is estimated at 17.98 lakh crores. This is higher by 1.55 lakh crores over the last year, which is the current running year as of March 31st, 2023. So this is higher by 1.55 lakh crores over RE of 22-23. I'm not even comparing it with the BE. Even over the RE, what we proposed in the current budget, which is under the consideration of the Parliament, is far higher. It is higher by 1.55 lakh crores and 2.9 lakh crores. And it is 2.91 lakh crore more than the actual of 21-22, the year before. The capital expenditure for 23-24 is at 10 lakh crore, which most members have heard me say, whereas in the year 1920, this amount was only 3.39 lakh crores. And if I go to the last full budget presented during the UPA's 10 years, that is in 2013-14, it was only 2.91 lakh crores. 2.91 lakh crores in 13-14, the last of the UPA budgets. 2019-20 budget, which is the budget before the pandemic, it was 3.39 lakh crores. So the states will be the partners in this massive capital expenditure exercise. And in the budget of 23-24, that is the current budget, we have made an allocation of 1.3 lakh crores to the states as interest-free capital expenditure loan, which will run for 50 years. So 1.3 lakh crore is being given to states as 50-year loan without interest. So the state's interest has always been kept up and kept in our mind, and making sure that we are in time giving them what is their rightful amounts. So whilst I go through the members and their points, I'm just broadly telling you the issues which this budget addresses and made specific allocations. Broadly, the headings are middle class, employment related, MSME related, agriculture related, rural population related, health related, and green growth related. So I will very quickly just give you the bullets under each of them so that all of us have a complete comprehensive picture on each of these headings. For middle class, sir, the new tax regime is very attractive. No tax for those with income less than 7 lakhs. Tax exemption limit will be 3 lakh under new regime against what was prevailing at 2.5 lakhs earlier. Standard deduction for salaried allowed in new regime as well. Will reduce tax liability. This proposal will reduce tax liability for majority of middle class taxpayers. New regime will be the standard or default. Taxpayers will have to opt for the old regime if she or he wants. Doubling of investment limit in small savings schemes from 15 to 30 lakh, and increase in limit of monthly income scheme benefiting senior citizens and others through high interest rate with full safety will also benefit the middle class. And finally, for middle class, new small savings scheme for women and girls with attractive interest rate of 7.5% for a 2-year tenure. Sir, here I can't see Member N.K. Premchandran, who asked for a clarification regarding the new income tax regime. He said, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting his exact words, but he said that under the old tax regime, a common man can save up to 4.5 lakh on his income from 9 lakhs. On his income of 9 lakhs, he can save up to 4.5 lakhs. However, he said in the new regime that won't help at all. In reality, sir, it is very difficult, actually, strictly speaking, for a common man who earns 9 lakhs to avail 4.5 lakhs in deduction. And after all, since he has to run the family as well as think of constantly of how best he can reduce the taxes. So when he's earning 9 lakh annually, 4.5 lakh in deduction itself will be quite a large and effort-ridden exercise. Enhanced rebate, whereas what we want to explain here, since the enhanced rebate in the new scheme is unconditional, it will greatly benefit income earners in the lower tax brackets as they have higher disposable income in their hands for meeting their essential expenditure. So I wanted to just assure Member N.K. Premchandran that it's not always possible for a 9 lakh salaried person to have 4.5 lakh under exemption and then also be having enough money to spend for his family. So that was for middle class. So if I move for employment-related information from this budget, sir. Increase in capital expenditure with large multiplier effect, and that's 10 lakh crores, and of which 1.30 will go to the states as well. Increased credit of 2 lakh crore at lower interest rate to MSMEs, who are the biggest job creators. Lab-grown diamonds have been given a fillip, which is a sunrise sector, and it has very high employment potential. Multidisciplinary courses for medical devices to create skilled manpower in futuristic medical technologies, manufacturing and research. That's also aimed at greater employability for our people. Job opportunities through Make AI in India and Make AI Work for India in educational institutions is clearly giving that cutting-edge benefit for our students. Comprehensive tourism package for 50 destinations, creating direct and indirect jobs. PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0 to be launched, covering new age courses like coding, AI, robotics, mechatronics, IoT, 3D printing, drones, and soft skills are all aimed at giving that lead advantage for those who come out of colleges with these skills, who can then be employable straight away. 30 Skill Indian International Centers. 30 Skill India International Centers will be established to train youth for international job opportunities, inclusive of any optional language which they would want. So this is about employment, particularly from this budget. For MSMEs, sir, Vivad Se Vishwas. Vivad Se Vishwas scheme for refunding forfeited amounts of bid performance security, which is given during COVID period in all government and PSU contracts with MSMEs. One point which I've missed out on employment is how in the government, in this year, every month, Prime Minister, also the ministers have all gone all over the country to give employment letters in government jobs. About 10 lakh jobs are being offered in the government, and that cannot be missed out. Sir, Vivad Se Vishwas scheme for MSMEs, and also to encourage timely payment, deduction of expenses for tax purposes allowed only when payment actually made to MSMEs will greatly benefit MSMEs, because most often large companies retain them and really take the offset benefits for it without really paying the MSMEs. We want to encourage the payment of MSMEs because they are the ones who generate a lot of local jobs. Revamped credit guarantee scheme for micro and small enterprises with additional credit of 2 lakh crores and reduction of interest rate by approximately 1%. And also, the presumptive taxation limit has been enhanced both for MSMEs and for professionals. Sir, I have 3 more of these main subjects so that from this budget we'll be able to club it all together to see for that head as to what we have given. For agriculture, agricultural credit target has been enhanced to 20 lakh crores. India will be developed as a global hub for Sri Ann, that is the millets. Agricultural Accelerator Fund for agri startups